Today is Saturday, November 1st, 2025. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for Survivor 49, Week 6.
Week 6, cranking away. That's just about halfway, depending on how the episode count plays out. I guess after this next one it will be, for sure, right? Good stuff. We do recaps on Wednesday.
Usually 13.
That was a delayed response.
Well, I was
You're thinking. I was thinking.
You said right, and then you just went on. Okay, what were you saying?
We do recaps on Wednesday after the episode airs, and Saturday we hand it over to the super fans, check in, see what they thought about that episode, and most importantly, what they think will happen next, because we're headed into the unknown zone now as we go towards a merge. Just not clear how things are going to play out, who's going to align with who, where's the majority. I'm looking forward to some insights or just a discussion to help me think about it a little more.
All the above.
Okay. You're on a delay.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
We could say that about a lot of things right now with my brain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sure. Both of us.
Delay's okay.
Sure.
At least it didn't just quit.
Right. We're still functioning. Indeed. Do we have any business to discuss? I think a major business will come next week in terms of the game, the fantasy league and all that.
Okay, well, thanks for answering.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay, how many fans sent us feedback this week?
Okay, we should get to the super fans because you and I aren't functioning as well with our words this morning, but we'll get there.
You didn't hear my question at all, did you?
What question?
I asked you how many people checked in with us this week for the show.
Didn't I already answer that? Oh, that was before we started.
Yeah.
Okay, 22 people.
22. This is gonna be fun.
Okay.
We don't have Pete. Pete is on vacation.
Oh, we miss you, Pete.
Woohoo! There you go. There's your woohoo.
I hope he's having an awesome time.
That did sound like a great trip.
Yes,
well,
it did.
First up, we got a call from Pat.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy, this is Pat from Missouri again. I got to say this episode was probably my favorite one of the season. People got to eat. There was 2 challenges, which I always love, and Shannon got voted out, which, of course, she got voted out because this week I went with Jawan, but that's all right. I don't mind a bill for that. I was so happy to see her go. I don't think I've ever wanted to see someone get voted out on Survivor more than that old man a few years ago that kept flopping down in the trails crying. I wanted him to go so bad, and then Shannon, she just made me uncomfortable. It just seemed so fake. And then at Tribal Council, it was just, I don't know. To me, it was cringeworthy. I just felt almost embarrassed for her, I think, when she watches it back. But maybe that's really who she is and how she is. But the whole praying over everything and just, I don't know. It just seemed really, really fake. So I'm so glad to see her gone. And then my USB, Invisible Sophie, she finally made an appearance, but there at first when they was interviewing her, I thought, oh my God, she's going home. But she didn't. And then Sophie B, I like her more and more every week. I really like Rizzo. I think he's great. I think he's genuine. I think he's just enjoying everything that he can, even the Aquaman, which was crazy, but he probably just has never wore those, never seen anybody, or never saw. I guess maybe he's seen people wear them, but they're always flipping over the side of a boat, not trying to walk in them. So hopefully he lives and learns, but still have no clue who's going to win this season. I don't think it's going to be Sophie S. Hope it's not Savannah. I really like Sage. Oh, speaking of Sage, every time I see her and her awkwardness and the stuff that she talks about, she reminds me of the girl from the Breakfast Club that shook her hair out over her picture, and all the dandruff went flying, and she said it's snowing. That's just all I can think of when I see her. So I know it's not very helpful to anybody, but I enjoyed this episode, of course. I think it was my favorite one of the season, and I hope everyone had a good Halloween. Hope you got a lot of candy. I'm almost home, so I won't have no trick-or-treaters tonight because it's Friday night late, but y'all have a good week, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Pat.
We have lots of candy.
Yeah. Somehow the trick-or-treaters weren't willing to cross the lawn or come up the drive.
We only had a few, and the road was they were hauled in by truckloads. They had long trailers with chairs lined
full of children
along the back of the trailers, and they weren't coming here.
No.
We just had, because last year Stacy sat out front with a table, and he did it because we had some work going on out there, and so we thought it would be dangerous. I was afraid they were going to trip. Yeah. And so, but we noticed a lot of the neighbors are actually doing that, sitting outside playing music or sitting in chairs out by the road.
I have to have a new strategy next year.
And the other side of the street across from us is flatter, but they have to come up the driveway and then around the house a bit. It kind of goes around.
Did you notice the ones that did come cut across the yard,
cut straight across the grass through the ditch?
That's why it made me think it was a effort thing.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
And
anyway.
I noticed a lot of it was young children, and the parents were even carrying some of them. And I thought, they just don't want to walk all the way up
the
here
way up the
and
steps.
come up the steep steps.
Yeah, I can't blame them, I guess, if they're going through this whole neighborhood.
But it was disappointing almost because we had, put up a few decorations. Not that we had a lot, but we scrambled yesterday to do that because there were so many last year. And Stacy went and even bought more candy than I'd already bought. Now we've just got...
Well, I think you could easily have a couple hundred come by.
Oh, sure.
Based on last year. Because I went through bag after... Now, I overbought last year. But I went through...
Way overbought.
5 or 6 bags full of candy I gave out last year when I was sitting down closer to the road.
Oh, it was way more than that.
That I gave out? Yeah,
yes.
Maybe.
Yes, I opened them.
Okay.
And you just come in and grab another bowl full.
Yeah, in a panic. It's like I ran out again. Yeah.
So we were prepared this year, and it just didn't happen. So
we're learning.
We were like, wow, we're just sitting here watching everybody pass us right by. You just walk right by. Okay. Well, in all fairness, a lot of the other places had up huge
inflatables.
Displays.
They're like, we're open for Halloween business. Yeah. Why are we talking about Halloween?
Oh.
Yeah.
Because Pat mentioned it.
That's right. Pat ended with Halloween, and so off our minds went. All right. Thanks, Pat. Next up, we got a call from Rebecca.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Rebecca calling, from New York this week with my feedback for Survivor. Flew in last night, and I got all settled into my childhood room to watch Survivor, and my YouTube app said, no, you can't watch outside your time zone when it's live. So I said, okay, I guess I'll watch it in the morning. And I actually went over to my brother's house today to sit with him. Today is his 60th birthday. And you guys might recall, my brother Sam, he was a 9/11 first responder, hero paramedic, and 11 years ago was in a catastrophic car accident and sustained a traumatic brain injury and is now extremely handicapped and still very hurt. But he loves Survivor. And I said, Sam, let's watch Survivor together. And I explained to him all the different contestants and who they were and how I felt about them and how we really needed Shannon to be voted out today. And I had him laughing so hard because I kept making really funny comments about it. And he actually really loved Sage's eye rolls and he was giggling. And then he said he wanted to take a nap right before Tribal Council. And I was like, no, you have to watch for 5 more minutes. And lo and behold, Shannon got voted out. I was so happy, and I like that Sage was real and didn't want to give her a hug, and we'll discuss later here. Let's shake hands. Good game. I'm so glad I don't have to listen about manifesting, or I told Sam, literally, if they kill a shrimp or a snail, she'll say a blessing for the soul of the snail. He laughed heartily at that. I was quite jet lagged while I watched the episode. Can't really retain much of it, except that I love watching Survivor with my brother. I got a vote out point. I did say in my feedback last week, I was all in on Shannon, and I legitimately made my picks on Sunday. And okay, I hate the small tribes, and I didn't know what the tribe breakdown was going to be, but I did see it before the episode aired. Yeah, Mike Bloom discussed. And I was really happy with my picks. I said, no, I'm staying all in on Shannon because I think Sage is going to orchestrate getting her butt out of this game. And she did, and I was quite satisfied. Now, I'm happy they're merging. I hope it's not Murgatory. I hate the earn the merge. I really do. I hope they just let that go and let them do their thing. I have no idea what's going to go down next week. It's going to be interesting. And I have a question about Savannah. Yeah, I picked her as my USB, but she drives me nuts. She's one of my least favorite players in the game. She gives off Real Housewives of Survivor vibes. She's trying so hard to be overly dramatic, and I was imitating her to my brother, and he was laughing so hard with, Joanne touches my water bottle, and he put sticks in my bag. She's a savvy player, but I could do without the trying to create drama. It's dramatic enough. It's Survivor. Anyway, I'm in New York until next Thursday. Maybe I'll get my boyfriend to watch Survivor with me on Wednesday. That'd be fun. Just keep getting people to watch Survivor with me. Usually I watch it alone. Thank you, Joanne and Stacy. Hope everyone's having a good week. Happy 60th birthday today to my brother Sammy.
Yeah, happy birthday,
All
Sam.
right. Yeah, happy birthday, Sammy.
Next up, got an email from Summer and Matt in East Tennessee.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy and all our Survivor friends. First off, we have a confession to make. We somehow missed Next Time On last week and didn't realize there was going to be a 3-team tribe split until listening to your recap and listener feedback on Sunday. Going straight to a challenge immediately following the opening was a bit jarring, but getting to see a real reward challenge is always a plus. Mm-hmm. Other than giving poor Christina a panic attack, the reshuffle was unnecessary and really had no impact on the game in our opinion. We were really glad to see Christina came through that episode whole. Rizzo's bargain basement Aquaman impersonation made us laugh. The first time we snorkeled from the beach, we both fell over as well. Rizzo is a kind of goofball, but he was impressive in both challenges this episode, in our opinion. But yeah, we might have USB biases. We dislike the 3-tribe format, period. And going back to tiny tribes so close to the merge is silly. The only advantage we can see is that it is easier to keep up with each castaway's scramble for alliances and power. Maybe. But we are loving the focus on camp life. We get to hear from Sophie S. finally.
Yay.
Although I'm not sure why she came after Nate so quickly. We continue to be impressed with her and her subtly aggressive gameplay. She will need some more alliances, though, to deal with threats like Sophie B. Matt thought that the immunity challenge was again impressive and reminiscent of the other Survivor franchise everyone is so fond of. Sophie B. discovering the knowledge is power advantage was entertaining, but we can't recall the last time anyone with this advantage has used it to any effect. We didn't buy the debate around the vote off after the immunity challenge. We already were shown that Steven and Sage aren't Shannon fans, and Juwan is easily influenced. Sage's hug rebuff was a bit cringe, but she used her words well and wasn't mean or nasty about it, and we got another vote off point. Looking forward to the merge to finally get to see who is really aligned and who is going to end up under the bus tires. We are thinking Juwan is the next to go, but he could be an extra vote for any alliance that is the last to talk to him. So maybe he sticks around. Thanks for everything you all do, and can't wait to hear what the other super fans have to say. All right. Thanks, Summer and Matt.
Yeah, Shannon said in her exit interviews that she has spoken with Sage, that Sage called her first when she got back, and they've talked through a lot of it, and she understood it. She also said that sincerity was her strategy, so it's really hard to separate the two. I thought that was a clever framing of her, how she's been depicted.
But it didn't come across as authentic to me.
No, that's the problem, right? That's why people are calling it
feel
performative.
Real.
Sincere, yeah.
So,
yep, but that's her cover, so that's what she's going with.
Well, okie doke.
Yep, and she was certainly dealing with lots of backlash. So,
well, I would not say that Shannon can't do good in the world, because I'm sure that there is an outlet for what she does. I know that there is. And the right people will be very drawn to it and probably can benefit from it. But because she's playing a role on Survivor, it just did not come off as sincere.
yeah.
And so that makes a lot more sense. I don't know if that's the truth or that's just what she decided to share.
Pursue, yeah.
Yeah, that's
She'll
what
make
was
it
happening.
her truth and manifest it.
That's
yes.
right.
It's all about sincerity.
But like I said, that's what I didn't like was the insincerity of it all.
All right, thanks, Summer and Matt. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Ryan.
Bow, 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 bow. Hello, Jenna Stacy. Ryan from Central Iowa here to drop my feedback from week 6. I gave myself an intro because the intro to your show makes me think of the night at the Roxbury every single time. I'm bopping my head. So I gave myself an intro. This episode was good, but as you guys say often, it was good because it's Survivor. I think that they're forcing again chaos when it didn't need it. It didn't need that this episode, but they did it anyways, going from 2 to 3 tribes, forcing chaos. And so with the shakeup, I was looking to see what are the options in this, and one of the options that I wish I could have that what if scenarios was if Yellow would have went to tribal council. What if they had lost, went to tribal? MC seems like she was on the outs with the other 3, and so if she's on the outs with the other 3, with Savannah, Rizzo, and Sophie, what happens if she finds the idol? What happens if she goes to tribal council knowing she's on the outs, getting voted off, no one knows she has the idol, and then she has the massive blindside? I would have liked to have saw what would have happened if that moment. Nate, with his early blunder of playing the game 2 truths and a lie, made some good moves after that. He just didn't need to do it. I agree with both of you. He didn't need to put that in there. He could have just said he had to get rid of Jason because he was the enemy. But he knows how to talk to people. During the challenge, you just watched their team come from behind him as Sophie and him are kind of trying to maneuver around the table, figuring this thing out. He's just calming her down. It's okay. We got this. Okay? Here we're going to go. We're going to go this way. And you just see his calm demeanor in the game. And I wonder how he's going to use that going forward, because people are going to continue to see that he's a person to watch out for and going to be going after. But can he use that conversation, that language that he has been using this entire season to help turn the tide? And then the amazing luck of Survivor. If early Uli loses out of the game, we probably don't have Sage in the game. Right now, she's probably out. She was probably one of the first 2 out of the game if Uli was the ones that kept losing. But because of the luck of the game, Uli wins, and Sage gets to reset her feet and find people she can work with. Steven and maybe Joanne going forward. I really enjoy watching Sage kind of re-establishing herself, and I hope that she goes far in the game. I also hope she uses another aqua dump conversation, because I could use the 10 points to further my lead in my fantasy league. I hope that as we go forward, there is less producer and Jeff drama. Let the game do its thing. Before the season, I had picked Alex, MC, and Nate as my final 3. All 3 are really strong, but they're probably too strong to have all 3 make it to the end. And keep the faces of Sage going. Shannon, really? You remember being in the womb? Come on. Sophie, yes, coming to play? Christina, I think you're in trouble. Thanks, Joanna and Stacy. Have a great day. And I look forward to hearing what the rest of the Survivor fans have to say. Bow, 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 bow.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. It would not surprise me at all if the machine learning model that I used to create that intro and the outro song were trained on Night at the Roxbury. I would be surprised if that were not the case. So I can hear the similarity that you're talking about, even though this was from years before the transformer models and large language models and all that took off. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. The possibility that MC might be able, if they lost, that could create some high drama. That would have been something to see a takedown of Rizzo or Savannah if MC had dropped a surprise idol to save herself and then been in charge of the vote out because they had come 3-on-1 at her. And it could have gone reverse Uno again if somehow Sophie B had figured out that MC had something and asked her for it. And then they took MC out. You know, that could have really...
Oh, good.
Could have been a lot of fireworks for sure on New Hina if they had ended up going. Yeah, that was fun to think about as we were working through the strategies last week. Thanks, Ryan. Next up, we got a call from Brandon.
Hey there, Joanne and Stacy. Brandon from Indiana here with my feedback on Survivor 49, and it finally happened. Shannon has been voted out. Sage gets the victory. And I'll tell you what, if the Ric Flair woo wasn't an established gimmick for Pete, I might do it myself because I enjoyed the heck out of watching that tribal council and getting to see Shannon walk away. It was fantastic. I loved that Sage got to be herself after that and just be honest with Shannon and not give her the hug that she wanted. But I will say, as far as Shannon goes, she went out the same exact way that she played the game, annoying me the entire time. It just felt so performative. All of the facial expressions at Tribal Council, the entire episode's worth of confessionals, and then the fact that once she was voted out, she didn't stop talking for more than like 5 seconds so Jeff could say the tribe has spoken. She talked the entire way down the pathway. I don't know that she stopped talking throughout the entire time on her way home from Fiji. At least she wasn't there at Ponderosa to talk the jury's ear off the entire dang time. But I will say, going forward with the merge, exciting times in the Survivor season. Have we turned the corner? Is this the point that Jeff was talking about? I really hope so. I'm curious where we're going to go. I'm hopeful that we don't revert to the shirt colors once we get to this next segment of the game, because it feels like we've got a good shakeup going on and some people could turn into some interesting alliances. But maybe we won't. Maybe we'll go back to the reds versus the yellows versus the blues. We'll see. I'm curious with especially the knowledge is power, if that's going to throw a spanner in the works, because it feels like that definitely could, because there's a lot of knowledge about who has the various powers. I don't like the name knowledge is power still. I think that make it the idol stealer like Australia does. Also, speaking of Australia and the heat that's going on and Jeff buckling over after the challenge, how much longer can that man be sprinting around live announcing these challenges? I think there's a guy with 3 initials that, his schedule has seemingly fairly cleared up. I wouldn't mind seeing him come in and do the announcing for some of these challenges. Maybe we could have 2 hosts. We could have a tribal host and an actual host. That'd be fine with me. Jeff can stick around and do the tribal. Or, you know what, with the way that technology is going, I would love to see Professor X Jeff. I want him in a drone chair, whizzing around, calling things out with a bullhorn. I think that would be a lot of fun to see in the future. I don't know who's going to go. Maybe Christina. It felt like they were doing a little bit of foreshadowing there. It might turn right back around and go to Sage. Maybe Jawan. Maybe he's the easy vote out. I'm curious to see what the other people think. And thanks so much for the podcast.
Thanks, Brandon. I was just envisioning Probst in one of those exoskeletons that the military's testing so that he could sprint around and keep going as he heads into his 70s. Good deal. Next up, got an email from Tara in New York. Hi, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor friends. Happy upcoming merge week, everyone. Is it truly possible we won't have to suffer through another dreaded murgatory? If we get a real merge, complete with the feast and a full tribal council for first on jury, maybe the swap was actually worth it. Of course, it helps that we finally had an interesting episode after such a slow start. And you're not alone, Stacy. I thought I had it too. I was sure Uli number 3 would lose the challenge, leaving Nate as the easy boot. I wasn't quite as bold as you, but just had to laugh that Shannon finally went when I changed my pick to someone else. I know I sound like a broken record by now, but I love Sage more every week. When she told Shannon I'd hug you if I could, but I think I'd stab you, I couldn't stop laughing. It must have made her skin crawl to hold hands while they walked on the beach together. At least she could finally show her true feelings in the end, refusing that last fake hug at Tribal. Speaking of Tribal Council, I was glad to hear that you noticed Shannon drop her facade for one split second during the vote, too. I also saw that dirty look and eye roll right before she quickly jumped back to all the love and open heart. Like Joanne, I'm happy we won't have to see her perform that act on the jury. Next week, it'll be interesting to see how Sage is perceived by the original Uli. Like you both said, she could be in trouble after revealing Rizzo's idol and voting out Shannon. However, I have a feeling Savannah might try to spin everything and put the blame on Jawan instead. I also think Sage could jump ship to work with Hina moving forward. If so, Alex and Jawan will be the major swing votes that decide who has a majority. I hope Jawan wakes up and stops being so blindly loyal to Uli. But I'm not holding my breath. I'm really looking forward to the merge, however it goes. MC's beware advantage and Sophie's knowledge is power could make for some interesting gameplay. Steven is a much better player than I expected, so I'll be keeping my eye on him too. For now, I'm thinking Christina might be at risk next. We saw that Sophie is fed up with Christina putting her name out. Also, her health issues on the mat could help make her an easy merge vote. I'm so excited for next week, but I do have one quick question before I go. Is anyone else bothered by all the Uncle Jeff stuff? Maybe it's just me. Joanne raised her hand. Maybe it's just me. We're going to hear from some other super fans that share this sentiment, but I find it patronizing and super cringy. What do you all think? I know it's a cultural thing in some cultures. It's a thing in some cultures there. That's what I was trying to say, that you have uncles and aunts. They're not really family members, but that's just how you refer to them as part of the family. So I just assumed it was that kind of thing, but something about how Jawan says it makes you feel like it's not, like it's forced, like it is performative. Anyway, thanks as always, Joanne and Stacy, for all your hard work. I can't wait to hear everyone else's thoughts. Have a good weekend, all. Thanks, Tara. Good job.
Yeah, because I don't have a problem with it in general. It's just, I don't know, like you said, it's just kind of cringy when...
But Jawan is cringy. It's unfortunate.
He is kind of awkward.
Yes.
With things. It's just
the way
awkward.
his facial expressions, that the whole fact that he isn't smiling is not a surprise now in his original preseason photo, because he's looking at you and you have no idea what's going through his head.
Yeah. When
you see his face, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, he might be good at poker, though you'd think he's angry at you all the time.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have a tell. But then you don't get a sense that there is a lot going on there either. So.
And yet he can be very lighthearted and funny.
And insightful.
Yeah, but it's just so...
It was like watching him perform in the immunity challenge. Smooth, jerk. Smooth, and then flail.
Yeah. It's not consistent. It like seesaws back and forth.
Yeah. It's like there's in control, out of control, in control, out of control. It's just seesawing up there in his head. I don't know. That's just my interpretation of...
That's our analysis.
Yeah. Thanks again, Tara. Next up, we got a call from Chris.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. Hey, Survivor fans. This is Chris in Alabama, and I'm enjoying this season. It's okay. It's good. I've got a purple USB, and I'm glad that Sophie's doing great. And maybe one of the reasons we don't see her is because she is kind of mouthy with Jeff a little bit. Just because we don't see her say, "Hey, Uncle Jeff," that doesn't mean she's not saying it too. I've been meaning to call in this season, and I've enjoyed hearing everyone's voices. It's always nice. It really is. So even though I don't have anything to say, I thought I'd just go ahead and call or send in a message. a voice clip from Chris. I had two other things that I wanted to say, and I really like this season how they keep breaking off into 3 tribes. And I think that we really like how they keep wanting to break up the group into 3 tribes. And I think Survivor should have to fulfill that throughout and have 3 ponderosas. And that way we get 3 juries. What do y'all think? I certainly expect Survivor 50 to be something amazing, because they're treating this season like it's the last day of school. I expect something big's going to happen after the merge. And I don't know how I feel about the 90-minute format. I mean, they're giving us more footage, but when you look at the episodes and how many episodes there were when they did the full 39 days versus now, and what we're being shown, they're showing us less. And they're managing to stretch it out and get more advertiser dollars. So Survivor's going to keep running on forever. I don't know if Jeff will. I'm impressed that CBS allowed, the God's comment to be in there. That was great. Welcome to Survivor, Jeff. Have a great week, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Good job.
He should have said Uncle Jeff.
Yeah. Next up, we got a call from Anderson.
Hey, Joanna, Stacey, this is Anderson from North Carolina calling with my feedback. It is the week before the merge. Yay, I do not think there is Murgatory because there is 11 players left, and usually in the new era, there's 11 people in the merge. So that'll be a new era first. But, yeah. I've gotten 5 of 6 vote off. That's good. And I could have gotten 6 out of 6, but I decided to trust my brain, not my gut. And, yeah. 1 point behind you, Rebecca. I'll catch you. Come on, Jeremiah. You got a lock in. Jeremiah, listen to me. I don't think it's Savannah. Alright? Don't tell Rebecca that. But my thoughts on the episode, it was the 3rd episode I watched this season, and I will be watching them a lot more often, I'm guessing now. But this merge is going to be interesting. I do not know who goes home. I have a suspicion, but that's just about it. I have not listened to any extra interviews this season, not watched any extra scenes. I listened to like 10 minutes of Survivor podcast by Mike Bloom. The only article I looked at was the cast before the season and what the tribes were. So the season is very predictable because I got a lot of vote upwards off of that. But you're listening to Feedback, so I listen to that every week. I skim through the recap show because I don't really have time Thursday mornings. But I love hearing your JSFL updates. It brightens my morning, helps me wake up, because I need that boost of confidence that I'm doing well to get me going to school. Alright, thanks for everything you do, Joanna Stacey. Have a happy, wonderful, awesome Halloween, and if y'all are dressing up, what are you dressing up as? That's all. Bye.
Thanks, Anderson. We got these great Halloween pumpkin shirts, so we look like great big giant pumpkins. That's what we dressed up as. Yeah. Good stuff. Hope you had a great Halloween, too. Next up, got an email from Mary in Maryland.
Hello, everyone. First off, does anyone else share the burning rage for the Paramount Plus app? Inevitably, every week I spend several minutes fighting to get it to load and getting the show to play. I've missed the opening scenes every episode this season.
All those streaming apps are various degrees of dysfunctional. There's not a one of them, I think, is very good. I guess Netflix is okay, but all the others just seem problematic to me. And yeah, but like we mentioned in the recap, it glitched right when Christina went down.
Yeah.
So we lost minutes, and we've had that happen multiple times where the connection drops and won't reconnect. So we're furiously trying to reestablish the stream.
You are. I wouldn't have a clue what to do.
Yeah.
Okay. On a more positive note, another vote out point for me. Last week we saw Sage and Steven clock Shannon's fakeness, and when I saw they were all on a tribe together, I knew my odds were high. I applaud Sage for holding it together to Shannon's face for as long as she did. It's hard to know who will go next. Maybe Christina, as she seems to be weakening and missing her family. Maybe Nate, as his new tribe mates are feeling suspicious. I think Jawan and Sage have really connected with Steven, so that even if Jawan and Sage don't connect back with the original Ulis, they will be fine. It really seems to me that Savannah, Rizzo, Sophie B., Alex, and MC are adaptable and will be in good positions once they merge. It's hard to tell where Sophie S. stands since we see so little of her. I'll listen to everyone's feedback and make my picks for next week. Have a good weekend. All right, thanks, Mary. Up next, we have a call from Drew.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. Hey, everyone. This is Drew. Look at me, sending in my feedback on Friday. We watched the episode last night. I listened to your feedback just now. And not only that, everyone, I put in my picks last week on time, and I got full point. Now, if I were in the side challenge, bear in mind, I'd still be well in the basement. So just glad to be a little bit more engaged. Though I will tell you also, I'm going to sound like a broken record featuring a wet blanket, but gosh, I'm so bored in the challenges. I literally last night said to the kids halfway through, like, wait, what do they have to do? They're standing on sandbags? What? And then the discs, and yeah, I don't know. I care more about the social part, I guess, at this point in my life, and the challenges are necessary because they get us to tribal council and et cetera, and they add, especially when it becomes an individual. I think that's maybe individual immunity is more my jam, so that's why I'm just, get through the relays. Good job. You untied a bunch of square knots. Good job. Now release your key. Okay. Still Survivor. So I enjoyed it. The kids really liked it. They were up on their feet a few times. I used to do the winner of the week and the loser of the week. I'm going to resurrect that convention for just a minute. I just forget these days. But Jeff is the loser of the week. Okay, guys? He will not let any opportunity for a terrible talk show moment pass without milking it for all it's worth. Right. Christina's situation was nothing. It was a nothing. It was not even content because it had no factor. I mean, it could factor in to her story later on, and I guess they maybe just wanted her to have some screen time, but it was just, they're desperately scrambling for drama this season, it seems to me. So if I can kind of tell what's going on, listen, Dewey will guess the ending of every Agatha Christie. I never do. I don't even really think about it. I'm just like along for the ride and then try to find the clues, and I might make a guess. But that's kind of how I'm with Survivor too. I don't hardly ever know what's going on. So I never call it predictable because I'm not very good at that kind of thing. But when I'm guessing 2 or 3 in a row that are pretty likely, that shows something. But we'll see. They say it's going to be a strong finish. So we're about halfway through, right? I hope everyone has a happy Halloween. Our theme this year is Harry Potter. We're going to do themed costumes with the kids as long as they'll allow it. It's going to be fun. So it's really need to work. I hope everyone has a safe, fun day and a fun weekend. Also safe, and talk to you later. Bye.
Awesome. That sounds like a great costume theme. Thanks, Drew. Next up, we got a call from David.
I'd hug you if I could, but I think I'd stab you. Hey, Joanna and Stacy, it's David in Pittsburgh. And that, of course, was Sage with an armful of sticks to Shannon and definitely foreshadowing. To me, the editing this season is somewhat different. It seems to be pretty straightforward, which is why I was getting vote-off points in the beginning. But then I started to think, were we being misdirected? And that's when I started to not get vote-off points. When the tribes were reshuffled, we saw that MC, Nate, and Steven were definitely on the bottom of their new tribe. As Steven said, one yellow in a sea of red. So it seemed pretty simple the way the votes were going to go. But when Steven's team lost, we did see how long they've been building up the Shannon and Sage conflict. I figured a lot of people in JSFL were going to pick Shannon to go. And I just kept thinking, I don't know now. Are they misdirecting us? And so I'm going to put Sage. I'm actually beginning to like Sage more and more, but she's still a little strange to me ever since her first intro on the show. So when Shannon started making her moves behind everybody's back, I thought, no, she's really manifesting her own demise, talking to Jawan, talking to Steven, talking to Sage, and she was always throwing somebody else under the bus. As Steven said, Shark Shannon came out to play. I think if Shannon had been a little more discreet and not been the one to be offering up other names, I think she would have made it especially longer, especially since she had never gone to tribal council. So obviously her big mistake was first throwing out Sage's name, then throwing out Jawan's name. And with the two of them together, it ended up the way the editing seemed to indicate. And I was gagging with Sage when Shannon was leaving, saying her I love yous and blessed, and everything's great and there's nothing but love. And I think, oh, please, like you said, Joanne, thank goodness she's not going to be on the jury. Only other comment I have is I'm really getting tired of Jawan's mugging for the camera. Before he had that wide open mouth of astonishment, and now he's putting his hands together in prayer at the tribe swap and calling Uncle Jeff. And okay, I get it. You want the camera time, you're getting it. I just want you to be gone too. I have no idea who I'm going to pick for my new USB because I've lost the last one. I'm assuming that's going to be this coming week. So I guess I'll wait until I hear from you guys where we go from here. Talk to you next week. Bye.
Thanks, David. Yeah, when we get
after the merge week.
Yeah.
Next week will be the merge week. So the following week will be the week that
it'll open up and
yes.
you can re-choose. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, David. Next up, we got an email from Becca in South Carolina. Hi, Joanne, Stacy. Hi, Survivor fans. Here's the 2 things we enjoyed most about this episode. Number 1, Sage's facial expressions every time she was on the screen. And number 2, Shannon's facial expression during tribal council. She looked so smug, right up until she heard her name. Watching Rizzo walk in flippers gets an honorable mention. I would have played hard for a grilled cheese reward, but I would have wanted to make the sandwich myself because I'm really good at making grilled cheese sandwiches. I hope the Survivor chefs know the secret ingredient for the very best grilled cheese is crunchy peanut butter. Ooh, that sounds like up your alley. Although I've never had a grilled cheese with peanut butter.
No, me either. But I don't know. Peanut butter's usually pretty good on anything. I don't know about with cheese, but yeah. I may have to try
We're going to try it. Add me to the roster for team Don't Like Tiny Tribes. There seemed to be a lot of concern about the consequences of voting out a fellow Uli, but I think these 3 would have been some of the earliest out once they had to start picking each other off anyway, so might as well start now. I'm glad they voted Shannon because we were ready to see her go. We're ready to see Savannah go next. Drew from Utah, my kids still talk about Kyle, season 47 Kyle, too. Have a great week. Don't eat too much candy. Thanks, Becca. Always good advice. Incredibly difficult to follow through on. Next up, we got a call from Parker.
Hey, it's Parker from Indiana, and I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a big step up, again, from the early couple episodes we got. Even with the silly swap again into the small tribes, the tribes of 4. I think if any other tribe lost this challenge, it would have been another terrible episode. But since it was the most entertaining tribe with the most entertaining outcome, okay, it worked. It worked here. Should we try this again? Probably not. But in this one instance, sure. It played off because the beef between Sage and Shannon has just been growing and growing and growing. And I put Shannon as my vote-off point for the past 3 episodes. And tonight's going to be the night. It's going to be the night. It's got to be. Finally, it was. And it was so satisfying. Listen, I don't like a season like Gabon that's just arguing and meanness through pretty much the whole thing. But in modern Survivor, new era, there's hardly any rivalries. There's no grudges, really. When they are, it's just over the top, like a Say or a Rome, where it's just kind of feels ugly like a Gabon. But I'm talking about like your good old-fashioned rivalry. And this is what we got with Sage and Shannon. Even though it was kind of one-sided, well, I guess Shannon was targeting her, but the freaking no, I'm not gonna hug you. That's, I was eating that up. That's great. That's amazing. Like the fact that Sage just went, nope, I can't do this. I cannot stand to be around you. That's what the people want to see. We just want somebody who just doesn't want to be around anybody else. There's that one person that they absolutely despise. And that's okay. I don't think that makes Sage a bad person. I don't think it's okay to have these rivalries. I think the new era players need to learn that it's okay. But I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a solid episode, and we got a lot of good stuff here. But yeah, I'm so happy that Shannon is finally gone because she made me deeply uncomfortable. Listen, I'm a Christian. I don't think that religion should play any part of Survivor, and for her it just seemed all performative. There's people that go out there and like, all right, sure, whatever, it's not that cringy, it doesn't seem like you're using it for attention or screen time, sure, but it felt like she was using it for her game and for screen time and for attention, and that I don't like, because that's not being religious. That's just... Ugh. Anyway, I'm so happy she's gone. I thought this was a solid episode. I'm hoping that next week we get a normal merge, and it's not mergatory. It's what it's shaping up to be, maybe, with 11 people. I don't know. We'll see. Unless they bring back the hourglass, they could do that.
No.
But yeah, that's all I got. I will see you all next time.
Had to mention the hourglass, didn't you? Thanks, Parker. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Shahin.
Na 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 way goodbye. Hi, Joe and Stacey and all the Survivor fans. Hope everyone's well and safe. As you can see, I'm rather happy. That was a good vote off. I found it a bit predictable again. I knew it was going to be between the two of either Jawan or Shannon. I had a good feeling about it. The way that production was building that arc, they had done a good job of it. But it feels like they built it to a point where it was going to happen, and it was going to happen quick. There wasn't a slow burn with that one. But production have got many things wrong, and something I didn't get to talk about last week. But I just feel like the split again is just a real bad look on the game of Survivor, at least Survivor US. You look at Australia, for example, and look what they did in the winner, for example, with Australia versus the world. And even the previous seasons of Survivor, where, as far as I know, the Survivor US is the flagship. It's the head honcho. It's the top sail when it comes to the rest of the sails on this ship. And if for some reason or another they've lost their way, whether it's been cuts that we always joke about, but there's a real seriousness about where this game goes. It started in the 40s, but possibly earlier than that, because we saw a lot of late 30s fumbles as well, maybe even as early as, say, 35, where the game started to devolve in its quality. They started to make some really bad decisions. They started to get some really bad actors into this game.
Yeah.
And then the production have done a really bad job of portraying many winners in the 40s, where they've got the purple edit and we had no understanding. We've had some winners that I didn't think were valid winners as a result, where maybe if we got the better story, we would have come out of the season thinking a bit more differently. And I reckon casting has now become much of a muchness. I look at someone like Jawan. Jawan is really clueless. No offense to Jawan, but Jawan doesn't bring much to the game. He's like a master of none. He's not even a master of some. He just brings a lot of 3s or 4s to the table, where in previous seasons of Survivor, someone would at least bring a 6 or a 7 or maybe an 8 to a skill set, or maybe some 5s or 6s, and you would see something about them as to why they were cast in the game of Survivor. But Jawan is very emblematic for me of bad casting and of this, I guess, malaise. And Survivor US doesn't deserve this. Survivor US doesn't deserve going back and forth between tribe splits and swaps. And I just hope it ends soon, because I'm getting really tired of it. The game is going okay, but and the players are okay, but yeah, I'm not sure. And I reckon that we're getting a couple of winner edits possibly building here in Rizzo and Savannah. I think they're playing really well. Thanks for all that you do. Cheers. Bye.
I enjoyed that analysis. Thanks, Shahin. Yeah, I agree with a lot of that for sure. Next up, got an email from Crystal in Santa Rosa, California.
Greetings from inside the womb.
Oh, God. Nice.
Look who got a vote off point. Yay! I'd say bless her heart, like you two have taught me, but I think that's reserved for the innocent, right?
Yeah.
Shannon was anything but. I wonder what her debrief with Boston Rob will be like. Anyway, I'm happy for Sage, but will miss her facial expressions when executing her fake alliance with Shannon. I'm toying with the idea of making Sage my USB, but only if I can convince myself that MC will be able to tone down her gameplay. Stephen, you better have her back. I do love him. He was genuinely grateful he survived, and my dream final 4 is now Nate, MC, Stephen, and Sage. I doubt I'll get it. Rizzo was cute with his flipper comedy routine, and hopefully Ozzy was tuning into that episode. If Sophie B takes his idol, I do fear He's not long for the game. But my next vote off is Mean Girl Savannah. Just a hunch I had watching the previews for next week. I think word will get out how she's been playing with Jawan's fate and the others will see her insincerity. Can I also just say how hilarious it is that her job title on the show is former reporter? Why not just unemployed or student or like the famed Debbie and just make something up on the fly that you dreamed of when you were in the 5th grade? Has anyone else had a former in front of their job?
I think Philip might have.
Strange. The goats are Christina and Sophie S., with Sophie being the more desperate of the two, so I think she's the likely alliance flipper toward anyone who will keep her alive. Okay, that's it for now. Happy Dia de los Muertos, everyone. May the spirits of your departed loved ones fill you with happiness today.
Very
That's
nice.
lovely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks, Crystal. I enjoyed that. Up next, we got a call from Kim.
Hey, everybody. This is Kim from North Carolina. The thing I took away from this episode was, why didn't Jeff call out Sage's face making during the tribal council? I feel like in times in the past he would call people out and then that would shake up whatever was going to happen a little bit, but he didn't do that. But I was okay with that because I had Shannon going home and then I was playing bold and I had Steven safe and I had Jawan safe. I didn't look ahead to know what the breakdown was going to be, or I might have played less boldly, but either way it worked out for me and I'm super excited because I didn't do a perfect job of managing my save points last year, and I'm trying to do a better job this year. Thanks, everybody, for your feedback. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Kim. I remember thinking that when we were watching Tribal Council, Probst is going to bust her for reactions, but we haven't rewatched. Maybe, was she toning it down at all, Sage?
know.
Yeah. Sometimes we're so furiously scribbling notes that we miss some of the reaction shot. Good observation. Good question. Thanks, Kim. Next up, we got a call from Trish.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy and group. This is Trish from Asheville. It's been a minute since I've left feedback, and I really enjoy the feedback episode, so I'm going to try to leave it weekly, but there will be random thoughts because this is as much as my brain can handle. So random thought number 1, I really enjoy the experts, including Stacy, who are not getting the vote out points correct. I have no idea from the edit how people can figure out who's going to be going. My brain cannot process all the analysis that people do. Random thought number 2, we all show 24 points on the scoreboard for USB. Does that get changed once we go to merge and we can pick a new person? Random thought number 3, yes. Regarding next week, merge or mergatory, I don't know if there'll be 11 people at the tribal council or if there'll be one group due to temporary groups for a challenge. But regardless, I think that the edit for Sage and Jawan and Nate and Christina to an extent are negative, and so I would guess it would be one of those. Random thought number 4, Savannah and her edit. Obviously, she's so prominent, and I'll be nice when I say she's a little salty in the edit. So wondering what's going to happen with her, especially the comment that Jeff said is saying to the group that there will be 2 spots available for season 50, and they need to show up. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens in the post-episode 5 episodes. Random thought number 5, wish there were more idol searches showing. I don't know, hopefully it'll get better. Random thought number 6, Sophie B, another prominent showing, shows much more positively in my opinion than Savannah, but someone did mention that the past winners have come from the tribes that are decimated early, and given that she's in the decimated tribe, maybe they're showing her a winner's edit. Random thought number 7, with the tribes being shaken up 3 times now, I don't know who the original tribes are. I'm going to have to go back and research that so I can figure out all this wording about strategies and alliances and all of that. Everyone have a great week.
All right. Thanks, Trish. Paul's visual roster is your guide to original tribeness. You can see it by the color coding as it is here, or you can also access the hamburger menu over there on the 3 parallel lines stacked on top of each other. On the left, you can click on that and go back to any week to see what the tribes were for that week, that episode.
Well, if Jawan and Sage just decided to stay with Stephen, and MC, Sophie S., and Christina, they'd have the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one way it could go. But I don't know about Jawan, and I don't think you can trust what Jawan will do.
I would
He's
agree.
just all over the place. So,
Yes.
and like somebody else said, whoever talks to him last.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Trish. Next up, we got a call from Joe.
Stacy, are you trying to lose a side challenge? If I heard it right, you didn't select Shannon to get voted out this week. Hopefully you didn't put her as safe. Hello, Joanne and Stacy and all Survivor fans. This is Joe from Huntersville. I won't keep calling these episodes predictable, but Shannon's elimination has clearly been foreshadowed over the past few weeks. I am really enjoying how Nate is playing the game. I'm also really interested in Sage's edit, as it's gone from extremely awkward to potentially strategic. Also, good on Sophie B for getting Knowledge's Power reward. She's also entertaining to watch. After all, people tell her things. The most interesting part of this episode was the eventual payoff of the Sage-Shannon battle. One-sided battle, actually. Shannon, I don't think, ever knew she was in a battle with Sage. My favorite part was during Tribal Council, where Shannon, with her cat that ate the canary smile, was thinking that she was controlling the game. Then the blind side of the vote hit her. It must have taken a lot of control to keep her pleasant demeanor while leaving, especially after Sage refused to give her a hug. Oh well, she can meditate on that. My least favorite part of this episode was the 4-person tribe. If Hina or Yuli would have lost the immunity challenge, the player on the chopping block were MC and Nate. I liked both of them, and neither deserved to be voted off this early. I did laugh during the immunity challenge where Christina just threw marginally connected sticks towards the key, hoping that by some miracle the sticks would magically fuse into one usable branch. And just like that, Shannon is gone. I guess the saying, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him, came true. So it looks like they're finally going to merge. Do they have a separate beach, or will the players get to choose which beach they want to stay on? How does that work? Oh well, hopefully the good stuff is about to kick in. I currently don't have a guess on who will go home next. There are a couple of scenarios that could play out. I think both the original Yuli and Hina tribes will try to recruit Keeley to get a majority. Another scenario is that Yuli and Hina will just take the easy votes and start knocking off Keeley. I hope that doesn't happen. We shall see. As always, I'll listen to the other fans for recommendations. Joanne and Stacy, thanks for all you do. This is Joe, signing off.
Thanks, Joe. They typically go to one of the 3 tribe beaches, and it's generally the tribe that had done the best, like won the most first places, had the most rewards, things like that. And
Or had the best camp.
Yeah, well, and that's
Or
the
the more
winningest
space
tribe. Yeah, generally has the best camp. Like, it's very unlikely it'll be Kella Beach. So
I don't know. I'm not going to rule that out.
okay, I went with unlikely.
Not for this season.
Yeah, good deal. Thanks, Joe. Next up, got an email from Josh, the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, that episode was a palate cleanser. Good action, good relationships development, and a satisfying vote off. In hindsight, I think Kella threw the challenge to vote out Shannon, but the editors did a great job of scattering breadcrumbs out of order to build suspense. My other observations. Jawan wants Jeff to stop talking. Too bad he didn't find a silence is golden advantage. I was very unhappy when the switch made MC, Nate, and Steven the easy targets for vote outs. Fun fact, Rizzo got his Riz God nickname for being a ringer in Ultimate Frisbee. I think he's making that up. Dumb question. What would happen if Jeff was medevaced? Is Parvati hanging out at base camp as an alternate?
I don't think Jeff would want. I think he'd want one of the guys he's fond of
to cover.
Yeah.
Rizzo wants to instill fear. Mission accomplished. Seeing his finny faceplant made me fear for his safety. When Steven and Jawan did their chest bump, I was afraid that we'd see Dr. Barry again. Have one of them collapse. Shannon thinks God put her on the new Kela tribe. He must not be a fan of breath yoga. Does this week's tribe switch take the place of Murgatory? Here's hoping. Shannon has lucky girl syndrome. Good things happen to her. I guess she needed to go to Ponderosa. My Kela theory. Jeff keeps doing tribe swaps in the hope that everyone will eventually go there. In the jungle, Sage said she would hug Shannon, but she'd stab her. I don't think she was helpfully warning her specifically about the armful of twigs she was carrying. Grilled cheese sandwiches, chips, iced tea, and brownies. Now we know what the base camp cafeteria served for lunch yesterday. That's good. Sage says karma is coming for spiritual Shannon. I'm afraid it arrived when she saw the episode. Rizzo wants to be Poseidon, but he had a Poseidon adventure instead. Once again, 14-year-old Jeff gave us a challenge with poles and balls. Rizzo said the snorkel tastes like garbage. Sounds more like sour grapes to me. Steven called Shannon a shark, the same term Sage used last episode. Had she already gotten to him? Sophie found knowledge is power. I think that trumps Rizzo's ignorance is bliss. Shannon wants to network with Steven. He'd need to use a radio telescope to reach her. Jawan got scared and jerked the maze rope too hard. Or did he throw the challenge? Shannon remembers being pushed from the womb, so getting pushed out of the game should have felt familiar. Tribal council happens on land, so it isn't surprising that the wolf ate the shark. Shannon kept her heart open, but the rest of her tribe closed the door on her game. Producer Nate is a truthful narrator who lies. Sounds like he'd fit right in on the Survivor team. Sage manifested Yogi Shannon being on her tribe. She'd have been better off with Yogi Berra. The dad joke battle between Jawan and Steven made me smile. Well played, gents. The eyes have it. At Tribal, everyone looked at Shannon whenever someone talked about playing too hard, not being authentic, etc. Next time, it's day 13. Drop your buffs. Sophie wants to go hard at the merge. Jawan and MC want to flip the script. Sage wants Savannah out first. All hell is gonna break loose. Did the chickens break free again? Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks, Josh. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Johnny.
Hey, Joanna, Stacy, and the Survivor fans. It's Johnny from Wisconsin calling here. And we got a blindside. Shannon gone. I did not think it was going to happen for a minute there, but they did it. They did it. And we knew Sage and Steven. They saw it from the get-go. They knew Shannon was trouble. I just thought they were going to get cold feet, and Jawan, maybe it wasn't the best new move for him. Obviously, it was the best move for Steven and Sage. They needed her gone. It was just weighing them down, and she was just going to flip on everybody come merge time. Now they don't even have to worry about her in the jury, because now that there's 11 left, I think we're going to start jurying from this point forward. But that's kind of nice to see. Looking ahead to the merge now, I'm trying to figure out who's going to be the swing vote person. It could be Jawan, it could be Sage, but it could be Alex. I'm not really sure who Rizzo, Savannah, Sophie B, and Nate are going to pull in. Maybe Sage comes back with them. I don't know. Or Rizzo, Savannah, Sophie B, and Nate end up being this minority alliance. And I know Sophie S really wants to work with Alex. MC and Steven are a duo. They're going to be on the opposite side, I'm saying, from Rizzo, Savannah, Sophie, and Nate. So MC and Steven are going to be a duo. They're probably going to be able to get Sophie S, maybe even Alex, to pull his way. Now, the interesting part is Christina made Sophie S upset in this episode as well. So now we have this weird bad blood now between who Christina wants to work with. Does maybe Christina, Jawan, maybe Sage gets roped into like a third subgroup? I'm not really sure. But my eyes on this next episode are going to be on Alex and on Jawan, because I think those two are going to influence a lot of what happens in this post-merge era. And if those two guys work too hard, they're going to be in danger first. So I think my next vote out, I'm leaning more toward Jawan, because he might be seen as somebody playing every single side. I think it was the wrong move for him to vote out Shannon. even though I don't think Sage was going to write any other name. So that was going to be probably tough for him. So he was kind of cornered into having to vote out Shannon, but I think it might have been the worst for his game. If Shannon made the merge, I think she gets voted out first, to be honest. I'm very much looking forward to the next episode. We'll see if everybody gets to vote or everybody doesn't get to vote. It'll probably be different every time we hit merge time, but I'm planning as if there's going to be 11 people voting, but who knows? Maybe those make like 5 or 6 people vote or something. Looking forward to what everyone else has to say, and have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Johnny. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Jen.
Hi, everyone. This is Jen in California, and here are my thoughts on Survivor 49, Episode 6. We start off with the reward challenge, and Alex mentions how they went back and they feasted on chicken. Savannah is annoyed by Alex. And don't annoy Savannah because she's got a hit list. And as we've been anticipating all week, drop your buffs. And it's the Jeff show, the slow walk. I'm really enjoying this moment. I'm glad you are, Jeff. It's good TV. No, it's not good TV. I want to watch Survivor, not the Jeff show. Mm-hmm. Or is this the Jeff show? Has Survivor become the Jeff show and we just haven't recognized it? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to take this moment to say that I chose Shannon, Sage, and Jawan as my safe picks, and I had Steven in there even until the last second before changing it to Sophie S. So I was really sweating it. I hadn't put any safe picks on most of them, so I thought this episode would be a good time to put them safe because I thought the tiny tribe situation favored voting someone perceived as strong out. I could not believe my bad luck that they all drew blue buffs. Yep, I was one of those 17 lucky people that chose Shannon as safe this week. So anyway, the blue tribe loses. What else is new? Anyway, back at New Hina, I thought it very interesting that MC chose to confront Rizzo about his idol. And even more interesting that she kept her Beware Advantage a secret. I think Steven is the only one who knows that MC has the Beware Advantage. I'm not sure about that, but And anyway, Hina is still riding high on their victories, so there's nothing else to do but feature Rizzo trying to fish. Okay, I'm going to say it again. He is so coachy. He is definitely giving off coach vibes. Not Token Sheen's coach, but goofy coach of Heroes vs. Villains. You know, he was the Dragon Slayer, and Rizzo's the Riz God. Now, if you know me, you know that I love me some Coach. He's probably my favorite player of all time, but this scene meant nothing. It was 100% filler, and I think we could have filled the time with something else. On Nunu Uli, Nate felt like he was on the bottom, so he felt like he needed to lie. Here's the thing. I don't think there was any reason for Nate to lie here. Everyone knows how strong original tribe lines are. All Nate needed to do was say, you know, we tried to make inroads with Jason, but he was just too loyal to you. He flat out told us that he was loyal and he was going to realign with you as soon as we merged. He left us no choice. And that would have been reasonable to believe. So the pre-tribal council discussions were a hot mess, which was music to Steven's ears. And at tribal council, there was so much talk about playing hard and all of the things that just made me think, oh, Shannon is so going home. And even though I lost a save point, it was a delicious blindside to watch at Tribal Council. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm available to advise if anybody wants any tips for safe picks on the coming week. Just check out my safe picks on the JSFL website under Jen in California and do the exact opposite. Looking forward to hearing everyone else's thoughts on this episode. Till next week.
Sage advice. I think I could offer the same at this point.
Yes, you could.
Thanks, Jen. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Paul.
Hey, Paul in Louisiana here. So they went back to 3 tribes for just, what was it, 2 days? I forget how long the cycle was, but regardless, I think it was dumb. I mean, I thought it would be, and it certainly was. The thing is, we all know that there's a degree, maybe even a very large degree of luck involved in this game, but it just seemed designed to go out of its way to inadvertently affect someone's game. With teams down to 4 players, you already understand that you could end up alone on a tribe, and if that tribe loses the challenge, then your goose is cooked. So yeah, I didn't like it at all, and it affected how I saw this entire season, because looking back over what's been happening these past few weeks, all I can say is that yes, it's Survivor, and I'm going to enjoy watching it, but I'm glad that Jeff told us that things are going to heat up after the merge, because so far, it's kind of been a throwaway season for me. Fun to watch, but definitely forgettable so far. So, in my random and very few notes that I have here in front of me, I will say that although Savannah and Rizzo aren't people I'm rooting for, I have to say that they work beautifully together in that challenge. Also, with each passing episode, I'm seeing more and more of Crazy Caroline and Sage. Then in big letters, I have, does anyone really buy into Shannon's BS? But now that the episode's over, I can safely say no. And you know, I have to hand it to Sage, because all of that schmoozing that she did with Shannon certainly paid off as it shifted Shannon's sights to Jawan. Oh, and Jawan. Holy crow, he was told and believed Sage when she told him that Shannon was gunning for him, but he's still worried about voting her off and upsetting Nate and, who was it, Savannah? Well, Jawan certainly doesn't mind upsetting her in other ways, right? But yeah, I'm glad to see that he came around and thought about his game there at the end. And as for the lack of a hug, I guess Sage was just thinking, well, Shannon's not going to be on the jury, so who cares? Way to go, Sage. And finally, could we please stop with the Uncle Jeff and now the Uncle Jay thing? If both Christina and Jawan keep this up at the same time during tribal councils following, I'm going to explode because for some reason it just grates on my nerves. But actually, yeah, I know what this is all about that rubs me the wrong way. Jeff has a name. Respect it and use it. I've always found it to be disrespectful when someone tries to slap a different name on someone, which I suppose goes back to my elementary school years for me. But okay, enough said about one of my biggest pet peeves. So then, with all of that out of the way, I'm going to pick Stephen to go, and if I explain why in any detail at all, it will probably take another 20 minutes. So, in short, I'm just thinking that it all comes down to a red versus yellow thing. I forget the tribes' names. And that's why I'm picking Stephen. Okay, sorry for all the negativity, but I will see you again next week where hopefully things will be better. Bye.
All right, thanks, Paul. Stephen, huh? I wonder if MC would save him given the opportunity. That's a big part of what I'm looking for in the next episode, too, is to see if there's a shot for her to get a immunity idol or if it evaporates. I still haven't gone back to look at what the clue might have said about that, the paper, the Beware Advantage paper.
Well, I could totally see Sage flip, away from the original Uli because she was on the bottom anyway.
Right.
And I think she probably knows that. But Jawan, you can't count on him for to go either way. You just don't know. Now, if he figures out that, or if Sage even knows that Savannah's targeted him, I don't know for sure how much she knows of the rest of the original Uli and what they were thinking, but it could go either way. I think there's possibilities for both. If they're still wanting to stay along those lines, there's going to be enough people to flip in either direction. So we'll see.
Yeah, otherwise, original Hina is toast. They're going to get nuked.
Yeah, well, definitely they're
because you got to think
in numbers.
Sophie B's going to pull Alex back, give him a shot at the bigger majority. I think he would happily jump on that boat.
I don't know about that. I don't.
Well, it gives him a lot of time to work if MC, Christina, Sophie S, and Steven get taken out before him.
Yeah.
And then they get to be swing votes potentially for whoever wants to turn on original Uli at that point. I don't know. That's pretty compelling when you come down with only 2 left from your tribe. But who knows if they'll even reconnect at this point. Sophie B went in deep with Savannah. I wonder if Nate would be willing to throw a lifeline to Jawan to give him a heads up that Savannah is not his friend.
Why would Nate do that?
Just to give himself another opportunity.
For what?
To build a controlling alliance.
Without Savannah, you mean?
Yeah. I don't think so. I think his loyalty's more towards Savannah.
I certainly think it is, yes. Than Jawan, because Jawan's not really trustworthy.
So it's going to be interesting to see if people play sort of strategically or if they go haphazardly as long as it's not me. And then you get all kinds of variable results out of the Sandra approach to things.
Well, that's where Alex has been. So definitely he's mentioned that as long as it's not me. So he might actually come in under the radar a bit if he continues with that and just kind of goes with the majority.
Yeah, that's what's tended to happen to the disaster tribe is that they get a pass at the merge. Yeah, there's a lot of variables as they merge. There's going to be that merge advantage. Does that give them a jump on the challenge? Do they get to skip a stage in a multi-stage challenge?
Merge advantage?
Yeah, there's something once they get together on the merge beach. There's that, you could see them reading.
Yeah, well,
they've got to search for, find something.
Right,
we don't know exactly the mechanics of how it's going to work, but there is some kind of merge advantage
I had already forgotten that. Well, and I think they said something about in the press release that it was going to be like a 3-stage challenge.
2-stage, yeah.
2-stage. I thought they said 3-stage, but anyway, multi-stage challenge. So that might be interesting.
Yeah, that's where the advantage could come into play, right? It could end up just giving you a boost. It has not historically delivered the win, whoever gets the advantage, but that's the kind of thing that could happen.
If there's more parts, then I'm wondering if it's not something like only the final people, like so many people in the first part of the challenge get eliminated from immunity.
Yeah, see, that's how they get to keep the earn the merge kind of
Yeah, that's
thing.
what I was thinking, that might
hoping it doesn't go that way.
To that. I mean, they all get the opportunity to get there, but of course, if they...
Then you have to earn it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that might be a little bit of what they do, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yep. Looking forward to it.
Otherwise, why would they have a multi or at least 2-part challenge?
Right. Yep. Hey, we want to say a big thank you to everybody who took the time to send in your thoughts and predictions, your analysis, your insight. We appreciate it all. We loved hearing what you thought about the episode. Also, we want to say a big thanks to John T., Christy, Erica, Hazel, and Pat for your donations. We just got a bill for this month. So thank you so much for your donations. That helps with our operating cost, and we greatly appreciate it.
And if you play in JSFL, remember to make your picks for 1 person voted out and 4 people who you think will still be in the game at the end of the episode. And if the next person voted out is the first on jury, then they will be worth 2 points.
Yeah, 2-point vote out. Yeah, if that's the case. We're excited. Looking forward to the next episode on Wednesday. We'll be back with our recap then.
All right, everybody have a happy rest of your weekend.